Hello and welcome to week 5 of English 1120. If you can believe it or not, we only have 3 weeks to go, including this week and finals week. So we have a lot to do between now and then. I hope everybody is having a good time writing their solution papers and thinking through possibilities for what to do about that problem that you illustrated in paper 2. The discussion board this past week about Playworks seems to have given everybody a pretty good understanding of what makes a feasible solution to a problem. Notice that in that example, there wasn't an attempt to solve childhood obesity or childhood distraction or the education system as a whole. There was just a local, practical attempt to address the problem through one solution. And that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for in your papers as well. That is not something that can fix an entire system, but something locally practical that can address one part of a problem. So that's your job for paper 3. As you post as you post paper 3 to peer review for this week, make sure that you really take your time and read each other's papers carefully, with an eye toward the questions that your peers asked, but also about the paper as a whole. That is, does it make sense? Can you understand what the argument is? Do you know who the audience is? Can you think about questions about feasibility, about practicality, about how it would work? Are the sources integrated well? All those kinds of questions should be in your mind as you're reading your peers' paper so that you can respond to that effectively and authentically so that they can get some feedback. Remember, doing that, reading 2 other people's papers of various problems and solutions helps you as a writer. That process of providing feedback makes you a stronger writer. So keep it up. Now, week 5, once you post your paper, as you see, it's going to be the same as last time. You post your paper on Sunday, you finish reading the 2 drafts of your peers by Monday, and you submit that paper to me on Wednesday. Your reading this week is 2 perspectives on higher education. So one author is going to argue that too many people go to college, and one author is going to argue that not enough people go to college. And so the discussion board and quiz this week are about that. This is designed to help you understand 2 reasonable perspectives on an issue that disagree. Because as you can see here, you also have an opposing views assignment due at the beginning of next week that you're going to be working on this week. This is only a 1-page assignment. You can read the directions in the assignments folder, and it's designed to help you really clearly think through how a reasonable person might disagree with your solution. I think sometimes we imagine that the people who disagree with us just don't understand or are unreasonable or aren't good people, but that's not really true. Reasonable people can disagree with you for really good reasons. In fact, if your solution was easy to implement or was perfect, it probably would already be in place. So there are reasonable reasons that somebody might disagree with you. So that's just practice and articulating those ideas from the point of view of the person who disagrees. So again, that's due at the beginning of next week. And otherwise, this week is pretty straightforward. Again, you're turning in your paper, you're doing a discussion post, and you're beginning to work on an opposing views assignment. And that's the only real paper due the following week because of Thanksgiving. So you get a little bit of a break there. There's one more thing, though, that I wanted to talk about in this video, and that is a reminder of a good structure for a paragraph. Now, I know that we said we weren't going to cover some of the basics in the class, that was in that essay basics folder, and you could review it, but I'm seeing some issues, so I want to make sure to address them. If this sample paragraph is difficult to see on the video, it's also linked in the week 5 folder, so you can open it from there. Basically, what you're looking at is a research paragraph about child beauty pageants. Now, this paragraph happens not to be a persuasive paragraph, but is describing what parents who put their children into beauty pageants have to say about it. So what I want to call your attention to is the yellow highlighted sentence. This is a topic sentence, and it's important to have a topic sentence for almost all of the paragraphs in your entire paper. So the topic sentence's job is to say what the main idea of the paragraph is. So notice this sentence. Parents of children in beauty pageants believe pageants are good for their children and teaches them what to expect in the real world. That sentence tells you everything that this paragraph is about. You should be able to go back to your paper and notice, just read all the first sentences of your paragraphs and get an idea of what your paper is about. If you can't, you need to go back and add topic sentences. I've also highlighted in blue all of the signal phrases and in-text citations in this paragraph to show you that having consistent signal phrases and in-text citations is important. Everything in gray is quotes, paraphrases, and summaries. Notice that every time there's a quote, a paraphrase, or a summary, for the most part, you see blue before and after it. This is because you need in-text citations and signal phrases for every piece of information that comes from an outside source. On some of your papers, you'll notice that I've asked what the credentials of your authors are. Up here, or in the middle here, you see fashion commenter and creative specialist for Barney's department store, Simon Doonan, author of In Defense of Child Beauty Pageants. This is a really long example of how to get credentials into your in-text or into your signal phrases. The purpose is to explain to your readers who it is that you're quoting. So Simon Doonan, if this person had just said Simon Doonan claims, it would be really unclear who that person is. Is this person a journalist, a parent, an academic researcher, a university professor? It's unclear. So by adding the phrase fashion commenter and creative specialist, readers can know that the person who's writing this has a stake in the beauty industry, because that's how he makes his living. Again, notice at the end, I didn't highlight the last sentence here, but it says, many involved in the industry believe that pageants teach valuable life lessons. This is kind of a wrap-up for the paragraph. Not all paragraphs need this, but most paragraphs would benefit from it. The reason for this is you want to begin and end paragraphs on your words, not the words of your sources. So try to avoid using quotes, paraphrase, or summaries in the first or last sentence of your paragraphs. All right? Again, this paragraph is available in the Week 5 folder, and you can take a look back at it to get a sense again of what I'm looking for when I look at your structure of your papers. Otherwise, as always, feel free to shoot me an email with any questions, or to stop by my office hours on campus, or to call me during office hours on campus if you happen to be around. And I look forward to reading your next paper. Thank you.